The extreme anxiety when you've got insomnia, stress, worry, calling your bed a torture chamber. And this is that fight or flight stress response that I often talk about on the channel. But what if that is no longer you? What if you're like, no, it used to be me, but since implementing the behavior changes you've been suggesting, I've actually feel that kind of go away. But yeah, I'm still lying in bed and I'm still not sleeping. Well, what's going on here? Well, this is what this video is going to answer. So yeah, I do talk about the fight or flight stress response a lot on this channel, and I use the analogy of a wolf in the bedroom. Well, what if that wolf's got a bit chubby and fat and a bit lazy and now you've made friends with it? So maybe there's something else going on. And maybe that thing going on is called hyperarousal. And hyperarousal is any state of mental alertness. So it could be excitement. Think about before Christmas. You were excited before Christmas, so you probably didn't sleep that well. Well, now, spoiler alert, we're adults. We don't believe in Father Christmas anymore. Now maybe you're worrying about how much Christmas is costing you. So then you're analysing, you're thinking, you're obsessing. Or maybe you're thinking about what happened at work the previous day and what you've got on at work tomorrow, and you're analysing, you're thinking, you're obsessing. Anytime you ask the brain to think, to problem solve, this is hyperarousal. And any type of hyperarousal can prevent that natural drive to sleep from taking over. So think about a time where, for example, you've got a deadline for work or you've got to get an essay in. You work till 3, 4, 5 in the morning, you're not dropping off in your chair and sleeping. And that's because you're asking the brain to be active, you're asking it to be alert. And because the body clock is so incredibly smart, because it's so incredibly intuitive, it would do exactly what you ask of it. And often with people with insomnia, this kind of ruminating mind, the obsessive mind, a data analyzing mind, can become a sort of learned behavior. Because if you think about it, it's kind of the perfect time to problem solve and ruminate. You're in bed, it's dark, there's no other stimulation, and you've got a lot of time on your hands. And often people can be rewarded for this problem solving in the middle of the night, like coming up with some good ideas. I know during my own insomnia, often I come up with new ideas for my business, and I go, yes, I've come up with this brilliant idea in the middle of the night. And it almost, most of the time it was terror and frustration, but sometimes I was rewarded for my sleeplessness in the middle of the night. And so every time that happened, the brain would kind of learn that, and it would learn to then keep you active and alert in the middle of the night. And so kind of have us think about these two types of hyperarousal I've talked about. Excitement, ruminating, obsessing, worrying about the next day. Because if this is you, this can be one of the things which is preventing you from sleeping in the middle of the night. So what if neither of these two things are true? What else could it be? Is there another type of hyperarousal? And yeah, 100% there is. And another type of hyperarousal is wonderment. I wonder why I'm not asleep yet. Joe said as long as I put these behavior changes in place, I'm going to fall asleep. Have I been doing something wrong? How long have I been in bed? I think it's been at least an hour. I should be feeling sleepy now. Why aren't I feeling sleepy now? I should be feeling sleepy. This is very wrong because I did the exercise during the day and I've reduced my time in bed and I've done everything right. What's going on? And you can kind of see how this obsessing, how this wonderment can be something that is most certainly keeping the brain in this active, alert state. And anytime the brain is in this active, alert state, cortisol levels rise, melatonin comes down, and you're asking the brain to not make you sleepy. So really do have a think. There's something I see with my clients a lot, especially in the early stages of their course. They're just lying in bed, thinking about their sleep drive, thinking why they're not sleepy, thinking why this isn't working. This is not what good sleepers do. Good sleepers don't do this. They don't have that mental alertness. Because just have a think, these three hyperarousals, whether one of these applies to you, and if it does, That's probably why you are not feeling sleepy in bed and why you are not drifting off to sleep. But what if none of these things apply to you? If that is genuinely the case, then there's no issue. But I'm kind of thinking that might not genuinely be the case, because even if you're asking the question, why am I not as sleepy? Why am I not asleep and why do I have this alertness? That kind of does show that there's quite a strong attachment to the sleepy feelings. But it does show that you are maybe, even if you're not fully consciously aware of it, trying to force yourself to sleep, run away from wakefulness, and you do have that fear of wakefulness that I talk about on this channel a lot. So I'm kind of thinking, the fact you're even on this video and the fact you've even asked the question, maybe there is a little bit of underlying anxiety, even if you weren't fully aware of it. Hopefully this video has helped clear that up. But what if you're like, no, Joey boy, no, Baldy. I'm sorry, I should really bully myself on camera, especially when I'm putting it out to all the hundreds of people. But anyway, no. That's not the case. I am really calm in bed. I'm just still not sleeping. Well, if that's the case, then there's no issue. Really, all you've got is probably spending too long in bed, giving yourself too much sleep opportunity. I'm sure you're sick of the pastry dish analogy by now and how too much sleep opportunity causes you to be in bed awake at night time. So if that's the case, simply a case of reducing the amount of time you spend in bed, can be very helpful, especially if it's happening every single night. But if it's just on an occasion, then just that kind of acceptance that even good sleepers only sleep well about 80% of the time. And actually, there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing you have to change. That acceptance is probably going to be incredibly helpful as well. And then just thinking about, what can I do in the middle of the night whilst I'm here? If I'm calm, happy, relaxed, maybe I just want to stay here and enjoy being in bed. Maybe I want to sit up in bed and put some Netflix on. If there's genuinely no anxiety, if there's genuinely no frustration, worry, then it's not a problem. And if you've got the message, hang up the phone. If there's nothing to fix, stop hammering away and fixing it, because you already kind of got there. So summarizing, 4 different types of hyperarousal: the excitement, obsessing, ruminating. Let's say that was 2 because I kind of got a bit rough. And wonderment as well. Check to see if that is you. If not, then it's probably just a behavioural problem, spending too long in bed, or it's not a problem that you have to fix. It's more of a time management problem. You've just got to kind of come up with something that you want to do in the middle of the night that you enjoy. And it's a great time to watch season 2 of Squid Game, which is coming up, and I think it's going to be awesome. sleepz.com for a step-by-step, week-by-week program that you're going to love. You've got email support, you've got audiobook on there. It's absolutely wonderful. I think you're going to love it. All right, bye-bye, Z. Bye-bye. If I say bye,